Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. I got my reparations coffee all fired up, and man, I'm having a good morning. Hope everyone has their coffee going. Just, if you're having some breakfast or having some donuts or something like that, it's a good morning. So, hello. Welcome to those of you who've already popped in the chat. Seamus Derby, Grillin' Pirate Pete, Smarty Bear. Sarah was here, but Sarah had to go today. She couldn't stay. And right now, man, there's only 4 people here right now. Well, you know what? Hopefully we'll work that out, because I did send the tweet out. Do me a favor. Hit that tweet. Oh, Hate Camel has just put out the tweet too, so I'm pretty sure we'll see him pretty soon. That's okay. We're trying to grow. We're gonna make this thing work. All right. So today is my 49th show. I'm almost up to 50 shows already. This is amazing because, when I started doing this, I was debating whether or not I was going to do this every day. And a lot of people put pressure on them to be here or put pressure on himself to, try to stream on a regular basis. And a lot of it was when I was making videos. That was the biggest thing. I didn't have time to make videos all the time. So when I started listening to some of my favorite streams, like, Lords of the Night or Ghost Poo, or I listen to streams by a guy named H.A. Goodman a lot, and every once in a while I'll watch Joe Rogan, things like that. I thought, man, how much time does it really take to put together one of these shows? And I love to talk about things, but the time, it takes so much less time to stream than it does to actually make videos. Although I am starting to make videos again, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to start putting videos up again. But anyway, this has been great fun for me, and tomorrow I'm going to have a special show. It's going to be the first episode of what I call the Dog Park, where I invite guests to come and play in the dog park with Dawg Knight. And our one confirmed guest tomorrow will be none other than Irate Bear. So I'm excited to have Bear here tomorrow. Also, we may have an appearance by Sinatra Says and the Ranting Monkey. I told Ranting Monkey, you know what? If you're sleeping, do not get out of bed for my show, because that dude's got to sleep whenever he can, because man, he's up too long, and sometimes he's up just because it's not comfortable for him to sleep. That's why he's off and up. Good morning, Hate Camel. How you doing, brother? Nice to see you. So anyway, tomorrow that'll be for sure. Irate Bear will be here, and then, like I said, Sinatra is going to try to make it, and if Monkey's awake, he's going to join us too. So that'll be the first edition of the Dog Park. Anyway, as you know, we spent a lot of time on this show talking about what other people are going to be talking about for the rest of the day. We take some of today's headlines, we look at Twitter, and we see what's happening there, and we try to figure out what's happening in the world. Now, interesting, I have some articles already set up, okay? And but I happened to look at something here that it just caught my eye before I pulled out some of my other articles here. And this is I'm not sure who Jason Rance is on KTTH Radio. And he tweeted something here says the Seattle mayor, here, I'll put it up on the screen real quick. Oh, you know what? I just remembered, before I put that on the screen, I talked about having some background music. And I think I'm going to have some background music today just to keep everything interesting. So here we go. This is, I got a little, I have plenty of music. So we'll just put a little background music. Now, you're going to have to tell me if the level of the music is too high, or just right for me to talk over it. Somebody told me that my music kind of sounds like a 70s police soundtrack, police show soundtrack, but that's because I like the funk. Okay, I like that old school funk. So too high. Oh, too high. Ah, I'm sorry. We're gonna turn that down. You know what? I think this is gonna be about right. I forget. I don't have my headphones up very loud, so I'm gonna turn my head. Oh yeah, that's way too high. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I know. It's overpowering. I got to turn that shit down. All right, here, I got to turn my headphones up to about 50 to know. I don't turn my heads up. I only have my headphones on for when I play video, so I usually don't turn them up. So I got to turn this down a little bit. All right, let me get a right level here. Just a second. Okay. All right, how's that sound? Is that a little better? Is it too much? Or, I forget. Yeah, I got that. Maybe I should just start using my booming voice and talk really close to the mic, but we won't do that. We'll just try to turn it down so it's a good level. Is that a good level? Let me know. That's good. Perfect. All right. So our first article of the day is better. Well, better or good. Well, it's hard. You know what? I might have to, I got to figure this out. I'll turn this down. It's still a little loud. All right, that should work. All right, here we go. So I was on Twitter, and I have all these articles lined up, but then this one caught my eye for some reason. This Jason Rance says that the Seattle mayor doesn't really think we have a big homelessness problem. Tell that to the woman raped, the woman almost tossed from an overpass, or the man nearly strangled to death by homeless people. Tell that to the communities consumed by the problem. Now, I don't know if I should have read that, but for some reason there is a lot on the West Coast. There's a lot of homeless problems because the population overflow and a lot of money going to these towns, and the real estate's really hard, or really going up really fast. But let's see what this. I just want to read this. Seattle Mayor Durkin is shockingly clueless on homelessness. Now too low. Well, I'm going to leave it there. Now too low. You should just barely be able to hear it. That's all I want. I just want it to a little. I want it for ambiance, ambiance. So let's check this out. If you want to truly understand why Seattle homelessness is so out of control, just review a recent comment by Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin. She displays a shocking bit of cluelessness. The Como News documentary "Seattle is Dying" has been a renewed spotlight on a failure of leadership in the city. It's gained national attention. I recently appeared again on Tucker Carlson's Tonight on Fox News to discuss the homeless reality plaguing and killing Seattle. In the aftermath of the damning documentary, Durkin is doing some Legion of Boom level defending that suggests her head is firmly planted in her. Oh, no, he says in the sand. I was going to say somewhere else. It's unfortunate that it focused on a very limited part of Seattle, Durkin told Como. If you think, K-O-M-O, if you think you went to any neighborhoods, I think if you went into any neighborhood in Seattle today and told the story of Alki to Seward Park up north to Seattle Center, you're going to see a city that's thriving with people who care, that's welcoming and diverse. I need that bell. I gotta go buy a damn bell. Maybe I'll just order one on Amazon. I want to ding every time there's buzzwords, because I hate buzzwords. Or I could just get a soundboard. Anyway, this is equal parts delusion and downright nonsense. Though the neighborhood she names deal with homelessness, it's particularly perplexing that she'd highlight the Seattle Center, which has dealt with embarrassing levels of homelessness. You'll recall, for example, the long-standing so-called tent mansion just a block away from Seattle Center. There's a place here in the Twin Cities too that's just that's like a little tent city. It's depressing. I don't know. There's now that maybe it's just the lagging of jobs to the economy, because there's a ton of jobs. I mean, there's Minneapolis, St. Paul has had a low unemployment rate for years. And that people are I don't know, just stuck out there. I don't know. I'm frustrated. I don't understand the problem. I don't know how it happens. I probably should study it more. In fact, my daughter's boyfriend lives in an area of town where he can look out because he's out from his apartment and see kind of one of those tent cities. It's just really weird. Anyway, you recall for example, the long-standing so-called tent mansion just a block away from Seattle Center. It got so big and out of control that it added a keg as an amenity. One of the occupants was literally in the Seattle is Dying documentary. Not long after, it was the site of a dangerous attack by a homeless man on an out-of-town visitor. The homeless man, mentally ill, attacked an innocent passerby with a rope, trying to strangle him to death. Is this really the area that Durkin wants to highlight as a spot not ravaged by homelessness? And by the way, did you see what Durkin did there? She threw in the D word, diverse. Ding. I wonder if I have a bell sound effect. I bet I do. Hang on a second here. Let me just hang on. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I gotta find a. Here, I don't want you to see my secrets here. A bell sound effect. Let me find a bell. Bell starts with B. ATV. Acid burn sizzle. Acoustic something. Acoustic something. I want a bell. I want a bell. Dude, the one problem with my search in my sound effects library is I got like 36,000 sound effects. And so, or something like that. And so it's really hard to find them. Unfortunately, my system does not allow me to search through here alphabetically. Oh, wait. No, that's playlist. Never mind. See, it allows me sound for music, but not. Oh, for F's sake. Oh, here we go. Now, why didn't I think of that? That's because I'm looking through. There is a search system. Are you excited about the production value of this show right now? It's just gotta be. Oh, sometimes there we go. Dingle, cello. Let me find just a bell. God, why is this so hard? Here, bell ring. Bell ring idea. There we go. There it is. All right, let me try. Oh, whoa, what? I don't need, what the hell's going on? Oh, I just need one bell. All right, let's try this again. I'm such a geek. I don't get it. Hey, diversity. There we go. All right. You know, the things you go through to watch this show. Anyway, so back to this. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, these mayors, even the mayors are delusional. How about a walk through the waterfront? Hopefully she won't find a used condom and discarded needles that one dad, now a council candidate, found while walking with his young kids. If she has time, perhaps Dukin can head back to Lake City, that neighborhood she forgot existed until it became politically untenable to continue to ignore. We can offer her a tour of the planters the homeless use as toilets. The city pushed the problem somewhere else by removing the planters instead of dealing with the crisis she pretends is not out of control. So yeah, I mean it's the comment. It's weird. It's always funny because the homeless problem never ends. I mean it was happening. You know, it was happening in all the 2000s, the 2010s. But the only time we start talking about homelessness, we always start talking about it when there's a Republican in office. Did you ever hear anyone talking about homelessness during the Obama years? I've never understood that. Anyway, all right, let's move on here because that's not really what I wanted to get into today. But you know, every once in a while, something pops up on Twitter that you got to talk about. Let's see. If you listen to Beauty and the Beta, Seattle is just in northwest San Francisco. It's really becoming that because it's so expensive to live in California. and this is what a lot of people. I have relatives in Washington. In fact, I have two cousins that work for Microsoft, and this is my mother's family, not my mom's family. If you know the difference, my mom is the person who adopted me that I grew up with, and my mother is the person who I met in the early 2000s, who is my actual birth mother. My mother's family, her sister has lived in Seattle probably 45 years, I believe, and raised her children there. And I have a couple cousins who work for Microsoft and blah, 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 blah. What they're saying is the reason real estate's getting so expensive there is because all the Californians who can't afford to live in California are moving to Seattle. And also with Microsoft being there and a couple of big tech companies, there's a lot of new money there. And, people sell. My mother lives in Long Beach, California. And we went there to visit her once. And this was about 10, 15 years ago. 10 years ago? Yeah, it was more like 15 years ago. And a little 200 bedroom house that we saw for sale, that two bedrooms, 1 bath, had a dining room. It totaled about 1,200 square feet with no basement, because Californians aren't really into basements. And that house was selling for $795,000. Even in the Twin Cities, you could get that house for around 150 at the time, or less, or maybe 100 at the time. With no basement, it wouldn't even be that much. It's just insane. So what happens is the people who own real estate or are trying to, relieve themselves of the cost of living in California, they'll sell their house in California. And it used to be San Francisco is super expensive. The Los Angeles area is super expensive. Those people would sell their houses and move to Seattle, and they could buy, a pretty big house and live fairly comfortably there, and even lived a lot off the equity that they gained in the house they had in California. Now, if they were really thinking, they would move to Texas, and that's happening too. A lot of people from California are selling all their stuff in California, moving to Texas, where the price of land and housing is. Now, I know you're right. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have basements, Maniac Man. By the way, welcome, hello, Midnight in Exile. Who else showed up in the last few minutes? Anyway, I'm not saying that they should have basements. I'm just saying they don't. You're right. There's different issues, earthquake, more sand-based soils, all kinds of things, especially along the coast. I'm not saying they should have basements. I'm just saying they don't. But anyway, he sold their house in California and end up, if you could go to Texas, oh man, you could probably buy 4 times that, 4, 5, 10 times the house you could in California for the same price, just because of the way, land in different parts of Texas is. Anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling on about that. Hey, let's check out our next article. This is now there's been a big argument over the couple of days on Twitter. I've been watching people argue about the Electoral College, because a couple of candidates are proposing that we get rid of the Electoral College. It's one of those things. It's kind of funny if you don't win a certain item, then you should change the rules, according to some people. But interesting that this article kind of resonated with me, from the Daily Caller. Democratic 2020 hopefuls back 4 policies that require constitutional amendments. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, because a lot of these things proposing, wait a minute, you got to change the Constitution to get that done. And here's the 4. The Democratic 2020 presidential hopefuls have so far proposed or signaled willingness to discuss at least 4 major policy ideas that would require the U.S. Constitution to be amended. Lowering the voter age to 16, introducing term limits for Supreme Court justices, dissolving the Electoral College and adopting a national popular vote, and reintroducing the Equal Rights Amendment, which is the ERA. That was last time that there was a big push for the ERA, or the Equal Rights Amendment, was in the early, I'm going to say the mid 70s, and we'll get into that in a second if you've never heard of that. Hello, Reason Vision, welcome. Reason Vision, I'm confused about something, but I'll talk to you about that later. Anyway, as more and more Democrats enter the rapidly expanding field, each vying for the chance to challenge President Donald Trump's re-election bid, it is becoming apparent that most of them are looking for ways to change the status quo, even if that means changing the Constitution as well. Thus, the name of my stream today, Taking a Constitution. It's a little bit of a play on words. Good morning, Tyler F. First one, lowering the voting age to 16. In order for the voting age to be lowered to 16, Congress would have to pass an amendment to an amendment. The 26th Amendment, ratified in 1971, lowered the national voting age from 21 to 18. A new amendment would have to be ratified that would supersede the 26th. Now, personally, I think this is a stupid idea, but I laughed because the other day Nancy Pelosi on some press conference or something was talking about how she's always supported lowering the voting age because you want to get them while they're young. Yeah, we want to brainwash them while they're young to vote for your party or whoever's party at the time, blah, blah, blah. Get the hell out of here. Democratic Senators Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Amy Klobuchar have not given this particular policy their full-throated endorsement, but all three have said that they are at least willing to have a conversation. The second one, introducing term limits for Supreme Court justices. Article 3, Section 1 of the Constitution states that the judges, both of the Supreme Court and Interior, he actually wrote Inferior, but Interior Court shall hold their offices during good behavior. Unless they are impeached, judicial appointments are for life until the appointee retires. But Democratic New Jersey Senator Cory Booker has suggested that Supreme Court justices should be subject to term limits and that every president should have the opportunity to make 3 high court appointments during his or her term in office. Oh, if you can't beat them, change the rules. There you go. When asked about adding more seats to the Supreme Court, Cory Booker felt there should be a national conversation on the topic, and he was open to term limits. Yeah. This little graphic, Pack the Court. We should have a national conversation on expanding the Supreme Court. Term limits for Supreme Court justices might be one thing. Yeah, well, you know what, Mr. Booker? If that were the case, then Ruth Bader Ginsburg would be gone. And I'm sorry. Several candidates, including former Texas Representative Beto O'Rourke, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Kamala Harris, and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, have said they were open to changes on the court. Of course they are, because oh my God. If you can't win, change the rules. Buttigieg and O'Rourke have voiced support for a new court with 15 justices, 5 chosen by Democrats, 5 chosen by Republicans, and 5 chosen by unanimous approval of the other 10 justices. Oh, good God. The third one, dissolving the Electoral College and adopting a national popular vote. Again, an idea that I just think is a bit... I just don't like the idea. The way we've done it, it's not because of the way we've done it, because the way it's fair for all. That's why we have a House that is based on population. We have a Senate that's based on 2 for every state. And then the presidency, the Electoral College, is kind of a compromise between the two. Anyway, where is it here? In order to replace the Electoral College with a national popular vote, which would allow the president to be elected directly by the people, an amendment superseding Article 2, Section 1, Clauses 2 and 3, as well as the 12th Amendment, would be necessary. That's a lot of things to cross off the Constitution. Democrats have been calling for a move to a popular vote, arguing it's the only way to make sure that every vote counts. Did people realize we're not a democracy? We're a representative public. The president is not the president of the people, okay? At least in our system. The president is the president of a confederation of states, aka the United States. So each of the 50 states and a couple of the territories that are allowed to have a say in the state, each get their say in the vote. Now, our electoral college does give some weight by population, but it doesn't give all the power by a population. It's not a one vote counts. And technically, the president is voted on by the 50 states. There's technically, in a sense, 50 votes. Each state having their say on who is going to be the president of that confederation. Okay, it's not a vote. It's not like your local mayor where in your town, yes, your mayor's by a popular vote of the people in that town. It gives you a local control. Now, the problem is we've allowed our president, the office of the president, continually grow and grow in power. That power that it was really, the presidency was never meant to have. The federal government was never supposed to be, having a say in how this state educates their kids and how this state runs their medical services and how this state does this and how this state does that. The federal government was mainly for things that protect the states in general. So if there's as a confederation of states, we're supposed to protect ourselves with a military as a confederation of states. We have a federal court system because there are certain interstate issues that need to be adjudicated by a higher court. But right now we've been growing the power of the executive branch way too much. So now everyone thinks that, well, we have this many more people. You should have one vote, one whatever. It's because people don't understand that we are not a democracy. And the famous word, I think it was Benjamin Franklin said, a democracy is when you have two wolves and one sheep voting on what's for dinner. Okay. I'm just reading the chat here. Dawg Knight area that power based on population is the House of Representatives. Exactly. It's that gives them more power in that body, but as a whole, we're not a democracy. Your state is a democracy. Your local governments are where you can say, okay, we want our local government as a representative of the people. The presidency is not representative of the people. It's representative of the confederation of 50 states that we have. Anyway, back to this article. Democrats have been calling for a move to the popular vote, arguing it's the only way to make sure every vote counts. A number of states have already attempted to sidestep the Electoral College by opting to give all of their electoral votes to the winner of the nationwide popular vote. Renewed calls came from many in the party after the 2016 presidential election, when former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton won the popular vote but lost the Electoral College. Because if you can't win, you need to, say it, chat, change the rules. Independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who is also seeking the Democratic nomination, called for the change almost immediately following the 2016 Clinton loss. Because when you lose, you, say it, chat, change the rules. Anyway, Warren planted her flag on this particular issue during Monday Town Hall in Mississippi, saying every vote matters. Yeah, every vote matters in how your state votes towards the presidency. But your state's votes don't count that much more than my state's votes. Sorry, that's how we were set up. And I can't imagine that in order to get the Constitution changed for all of these things, it takes like 2/3 of each House of Congress and then 3/4 of the states. This y'all are barking up the wrong damn tree. Anyway, then reintroducing the Equal Rights Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment states that equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Okay, and now I don't know if they're making changes to that. Proponents argue that it would make it easier to enforce equal pay laws, protect access to abortion, and help protect women from harassment. You know what? I don't think you realize there's the other issue you're going to have if that amendment passes. Now, and also, are they going to try to change it to include gender or gender identity and blah, 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 blah. Right now, equality of rights under the law are not denied or abridged by the United States on account of sex. They're just not. Although, if you want to make this law, then you're going to have you're going to have some lawsuits on equal sentencing. You're going to have some lawsuits on probably child custody, child support. I don't know if that were an amendment. I think there's a whole lot of people out there that would play it the way that you wouldn't want it to. In fact, let's go back to this one about the electoral college. So there's a bunch of states right now that are, so they're saying that they're going to sidestep the electoral college by opting to give all their electoral votes to the winner of the national popular vote. Now, wouldn't it be funny? Now, for example, California, New York, New Jersey, Colorado, there's a bunch of other states. In fact, I wonder if that's here. They probably got the article right here. Ding. Yeah, Colorado. Okay, yeah, Colorado is set to be the 12th state to do that. Problem is, who's going to laugh and laugh and laugh in 2020? Let's say they now, right now they're all saying that they're waiting until enough states that account for 276 electoral votes for that to go into effect. But let's say this next presidential election, just follow along with me. The next presidential election, I don't know why I have it up so loud for me. The next presidential election, imagine this. Donald Trump wins the popular vote by a total of 32,300 votes nationwide. Imagine that. Now just imagine, this is a hypothetical now. This is hypothetical. Donald Trump wins the popular vote by 32,000 votes. And the state of California and the state of Colorado and the state of New York and the state of New Jersey and all these other states that said they're going to give all their electoral votes to the winner of the nationwide popular vote, all have to give their electoral votes to Donald J. Trump. I think that would be a hoot. That would be a hoot. You think that there's that kind of meme woman that was in the streets when they announced in the streets that a new president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and you had the lady out there. Remember that lady? Could you just see the entire city of Los Angeles, the entire city of San Francisco, all doing that at the same time because they had to give their electoral votes to Donald Trump? I'm just saying, yes, but no. Again, it's just a case. If you don't win, change the rules, lower the voting age, change the electoral college, do all this, do that, let the illegals vote. Yeah, I was going to swear, but I'm not going to. How are we doing, chat? How's everyone doing today? Are y'all having a good day? Are you ready to have a wonderful day? Let's find out what some things. Well, here, let me get a couple of new articles here real quick. I'm going to get. How you doing? How you doing? Hey, remember tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Maniac Man. Tomorrow, special guests on the Morning Night Live. We're going to be in the dog park where everyone plays nicely with Irate Bear and maybe Ranting Monkey and Sinatra Says will make an appearance too. Just a reminder, that's for programming note for tomorrow. By the way, today is Irate Bear's birthday. Irate Bear turns 31 today, also known as Irate Alex. He has a couple channels out there. Make sure, if you're not subscribed to Irate Bear and Irate Alex, a lot of you might be already subscribed to Irate Bear, but look up the Irate Alex channel and subscribe to that one too. Okay? All right. Let's move on. Enough of this thing here. Let's see. Conway to Trump. Oh, you know, Kellyanne Conway's husband is Donald Trump's going on a real weird Twitter binge lately, and I'm kind of annoyed about it. I'm one of those people. I just wish they would take his phone away. I mean, sometimes his Twitter is fantastic, and I just laugh my ass off, and especially when he's using it to circumvent the mainstream media. That I think is fantastic. That's, if Twitter were around when Ronald Reagan was president, I don't think Ronald Reagan would have ever done a press conference. He would just put it out there on Twitter. But Reagan's style is clearly very different than Donald Trump's. Donald Trump has a habit of anyone who crosses him, he has their ire on Twitter. So that's the one thing that I wish he had that filter. But his filter of getting around the media, I love. Sometimes it borders on really just weird to me. That's my commentary on Donald Trump today. But anyway, Conway's husband, George Conway, well, let's just go this way. George Conway, the husband of White House counselor Kellyanne Conway and a top critic of President Trump. See, she loves Trump and he's a big time critic, is firing back after the president called him a stone cold loser and a husband from hell. You, are, nuts, Conway wrote in one of two quick tweets responding to the president's early Wednesday morning insults. You seem determined to prove my point. Good for yous, Conway said in his first tweet responding to Trump, adding the hashtag narcissistic personality disorder. So there's the tweets. Conway also shared a list of diagnostic criteria for a narcissistic personality disorder, an illness the lawyer previously suggested the president suffered from. That's, you know what? I'm sorry. Stop trying to diagnose people on Twitter. That's a dangerous precedent to send, even if you think, even if that's what you think Trump is. I'm sorry. You cannot do that. Some other psychiatrist tried to do that on Dr. Phil or some crap like that. No, that's unprofessional. In fact, now this guy's a lawyer, so he can't really do this anyway, but especially you health professionals, that is a breach of your oath to do that type of thing. Anyway, and he tweeted out this manual part of here. The manual nearly identical to a tweet he shared on Monday describes narcissistic personality disorder as a pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior, need for admiration, a lack of empathy, and the latter as a pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others. Conway has raised concerns about the president's mental state in recent weeks, posting a series of tweets last week whether a serious inquiry needs to be made into the matter. Okay, so there you go. George Conway is not a fan of Trump, while his wife is one of his leading spokespeople. So anyway, what else we got here? Oh, it's almost time for Twitter trends. We'll get there in a second. This was interesting too. Also, the Democrats are just frothing at the mouth to see how many things they can investigate the president on. And apparently, former House Trump confidant is going to cooperate with the House Democratic probe into President Trump. Hope Hicks, the former White House communications director and longtime confidant of President Donald Trump, plans to turn over documents to the House Judiciary Committee as part of its investigation into potential obstruction of justice. Now, this is interesting because Despite the fact that Hope Hicks left the administration a while back, she's one of these people who is still fairly loyal to the president. So I don't know what good this is going to do for Democrats. But hey, you know what? I'm not going to argue. Whatever. I don't think she's going to hand over anything. What's going to happen is she's going to hand all over this stuff. It's going to be nothing in it. So the Democrats, I don't know what they're doing. They think that somehow they think that the investigations are going to play into their hands what come election time in 2020. I think it's going to do just the opposite. The House Democrats are going to accomplish nothing for 2 years. The Mueller report's going to come out and show that there was no collusion, cooperation, conspiracy, or any of the other things that start with a C that have to do with the Russians and the Trump campaign. That's going to be a nothing burger. Then someone's going to figure out, wait a minute, all the people who were supposedly indicted, how many of them were indicted on anything related to what Mueller investigation was supposed to start with? In fact, what they're also going to find out, like, even take Paul Manafort, for example. The actual crimes that were not process crimes that he was being convicted of all happened when he was working for John Podesta, a Clinton confidant. He was working for someone on the other team when he didn't. What was it they got him for? They got him for not registering as a agent for a foreign country, and that foreign country was not Russia. It was Ukraine, one of Russia's problems right now. And who else was part of that team that didn't register as a foreign agent? Oh, just John Podesta. Maybe it's his brother. I can't remember. I always get the Podesta brothers mixed up. But they're partners in the company. One's running the country, or one's running that company, and the other one was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. The Podestas. The Podesta Group. That's what it's called. That's who he worked for when he committed these crimes. Anyway, Representative Jerry Nadler, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, sent Hicks a detailed letter earlier this month asking for documents on a wide range of topics, including over former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's false statements to the FBI, the firing of then FBI Director James Comey, who should have been fired, Trump's involvement in a hush money scheme to silence stories about his alleged affairs, nothing illegal about it, and the drafting of a misleading 2017 statement to the media about Donald Trump Jr.'s 2016 meeting in Trump Tower with the Russians, which we are. Thank you, Tony Podesta. That's right. Thank you, Tate Camel. You know what? And even that meeting turned out to be nothing. If you've been following, I've been following that whole thing extremely closely, listening to many different pundits and experts and people who talk about it all the time, and I'm concluding that there is nothing there. I mean, it's embarrassing that this investigation went on for 2 years. I always wondered at first, could it be? But you know what? It all comes down to the original WikiLeaks thing. Why would the Russians want to bring up information about Bernie Sanders being cheated by the DNC? Why would the Russians hack the DNC? Who cares? Those aren't state secrets. Those are campaign things. It's all so stupid. Anyway, the Democrats have been 80 some different subpoenas for documents and want testimony from 80 different people. Now, the White House just told them to go pound sand. They said they're not going to send them anything. I might have an article about that here today, too. We're moving on. Anyone ever hear of this girl? She's on YouTube. She's a YouTube fitness guru. Brittany Dawn, 26, has a massive following thanks to the grueling workout routine she posts on social media. She also claims to be a diet expert, but Dawn is under fire for allegedly scamming women out of millions of dollars. Don't trust those YouTube those YouTube fitness experts. The alleged victims claim they paid for a one-on-one workout and diet advice that never happened. Allison Sisler told Inside Edition she paid $200 but never got the personal fitness training she expected and was blocked on Dawn's social media when she complained. A lot of people feel betrayed. They feel angry. They feel hurt. They feel scammed. Why did I pick this article? I don't know. I think it was just one on MSN. Clarissa Woody said she paid $500 for a personalized fitness plan, but her emails seeking one-on-one time were ignored. To sit here now and say I feel like I was scammed by someone who was an idol or was an idol to me is really disappointing, Woody said. 5,000 women who say they are victims have formed a Facebook group called Brittany Dawn Fitness Complaints, while 11,000 people have signed an online petition calling it on the Federal Trade Commission to, quote, stop Brittany Dawn fitness scams. She had thousands of people. Now, she did this little, here's her little I'm sorry video. Let's check this out.
Media fitness guru with more than 750,000 women following her grueling workout routines. But 27-year-old Brittany Dawn is under fire today for allegedly scamming women out of what may be millions of dollars. The women claim they paid for one-on-one workout and diet advice that never happened. Allison Sisler says she paid $200 but never got the personal fitness training she expected and was blocked on Dawn's social media when she complained.
A lot of people feel betrayed, they feel angry, they feel hurt, they feel scammed, and they feel that there is a big sense of injustice here.
Clarissa Woody paid $500 for a personalized fitness plan, but says her emails seeking one-on-one time were ignored.
To sit here now and say that I feel like I was scammed by somebody that was like an idol to me is really disappointing.
5,000 women who say they are victims.
So yeah, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna be nice anyway. So yeah, Brittany Dawn. Oh, by the way, I do have a YouTube channel you guys got to subscribe to. I've watched this video by this woman. Oh, these are ragged to riches assemblies. I watched this video by this woman who scams the scammers, and it was recommended me on my feed. And when I watched the video 2 days ago, she had like 7,000 subscribers. Maybe it was 3 days ago, whatever. I went back to that channel today, and she had over 70,000 subscribers, like in 3 days. Really funny channel. I'll show you one of the videos at the end of the day here. So remind me, just put video in the chat at some point when it gets to be about 20 past the hour, and I'll make sure I do that. Anyway, all right, so here's some celebrity rag to riches stories. I was just pulling up random stuff today, and I thought this was interesting. We are obsessed with celebrity gossip, watching stars react to internet trolls, scrolling through most hated celebrities list, wondering to ourselves, why do people hate Nickelback? I always wonder that. Why do people hate Nickelback? I don't get it. You know, yeah, they sound formulaic and whatever, but there's nothing wrong with Nickelback. Who cares? Anyway, but our favorite type of drama revolves around how some of the richest, most famous people in Hollywood became broke celebrities. Over-the-top spending, tax troubles, legal battles can all eat away at even the most enormous fortunes, as many of the celebs on this list found out. Now we'll click through a few of these. So here's some of the broke-ass celebrities. The lead singer is a douche. Well, maybe, but the music's not that bad. Gary Busey. How many did you know Gary Busey is broke? For an actor with a career spanning 5 decades, Gary Busey doesn't have much of a fortune to show for it. Busey made a name for himself as an actor in films including Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, Point Break, and as well as televised classics like Walker, Texas Ranger. I didn't know Gary Busey was on Walker, Texas Ranger. I thought his most famous role was when he played Buddy Holly in the Buddy Holly story. I thought he did a pretty good job in that movie. Anyway, despite acting success, though, Busey filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2012, claiming he owed up to $1 million to creditors, including the IRS. Today, he's still $500,000 in debt, making him one of the most broke celebrities around. Well, he also had that motorcycle accident that he wasn't wearing a helmet, and so he was out of commission for a long time, too. I'm sure that didn't help, but he's also kind of a wild dude. Heidi Montag. Does anybody care about... who talks about Heidi Montag anymore? This reality star gained notoriety through her role as Lauren Conrad's best friend turned enemy on The Hills. Through her relationship with co-star Spencer Pratt, Montag earned her fortune via a 4-year stint on The Hills. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Yeah, Heidi Montag. The Hills, that was supposed to be a big deal. I never, ever saw an episode of The Hills. Lindsay Lohan, bad reputation and IRS debt. Yeah, she's the poster child for the dark side of fame. The actress started her career strong and early with starring roles in The Parent Trap as a child, Freaky Friday, Mean Girls as a young adult. However, she soon developed a reputation for being difficult to work with, even getting admonished by film executive James G. Robinson, the head of the production company that produced Lohan's 2007 film, Georgia Rule. Hey, who remembers that one? Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Oh, nobody knows my sorrows. Kelly Rutherford, she's had her legal battles. Apparently, on the soap opera Generations, never heard of it. Has anyone heard of the soap opera called Generations? Oh, she was also on Gossip Girl. Anyway, her net worth doesn't reflect her success. The root of her money trouble? Legal battles. She was locked in a lengthy custody dispute with her ex-husband Daniel Gershon, and in 2013, 5 years after the divorce proceedings were initiated, Rutherford revealed she was penniless. Her legal fees and travel expenses to visit her children, who only were sent to live with Gersh in Germany, forced her to declare bankruptcy, according to Vanity Fair. Never heard of her either. How about... MC Hammer. MC Hammer's broke as hell. Hi, honey. Everyone say hi to Lady Boomer. Jussie or Jessie? No, Jessie. Wait a minute. I need my Lady Boomer just informed me that she had a dream about Jessie. Let me hear this real quick.
Yeah,
we were eating breakfast soup. Oh, that's the dream? Yeah. There's no such thing as breakfast soup. God damn it, monkey. Goodbye. So, if you heard this, I'm sure you heard me because I'm yelling into the microphone right now. Lady Boomer had a dream about Jessie eating breakfast. Here's the deal. All right, I'm going to end these debate on cereal and soup right now. The reason cereal is not soup is because cereal is still cereal without the milk. You can eat cereal without the milk. Have you ever heard of a soup that has no liquid? Bam! Sorry, I gotcha. Anyway, MC Hammer overspending an IRS debt. Yeah, he has his troubles. He spent too much damn money. He just spent he just spent too much money. Anyway, Hammer broke again. Last time he was broke, he still had like $3 million left in the bank. Yeah, well, here's the deal. When it comes to the tale of the one-hit wonder, he was a one-hit wonder. Now, come on, Hammer was not a one-hit wonder. You can't touch this. Come on, he had more. Now listen to this. I am the proud to say that I went to an MC Hammer concert when Hammer was hot. No, he was definitely, too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. Remember that? Too legit to quit? Yeah, too legit. I went to a Hammer concert in the 90s, and that was one of the greatest spectacles I have ever seen. I mean, he had about 45 dancers on stage at the same time, had a live band playing behind him, had all these, I mean, it was crazy. I don't know if any of you are familiar with, I'm sure many of you know who Parliament Funkadelic are. They were a funk band back in the 80s with George Clinton and Dr. Funkenstein. Bootsy Collins was with them for a while. They had this huge stage production. I actually saw them in 1977. And that was a huge production. And I thought, okay, I'm never going to see anything like this again until I went to see MC Hammer in the 90s. It was just an amazing show. No, I did not buy a pair of the parachute pants. I was strictly a jeans guy, but the concert was a trip. I mean, and I'm trying to think of who he had with him, touring with him. Yeah, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But MC Hammer, that was a hell of a concert. Who else is broke? Michael Tyson, divorce and imprisonment. Yeah, that prison can be a bitch when you're trying to make money. But anyway, Mike Tyson earned his first fortune as an American boxing icon, so famous he even inspired a Nintendo video game. Remember Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? That was a great game. Tyson's descent from riches to rags was a steep one, as the once formidable boxer made one blunder after the next. He struggled with personal and legal issues starting in the late 1980s. As he went through a divorce, Tyson grew increasingly out of shape and started to lose his superstar image. Not long after, he was convicted of rape charges and served 3 years in federal prison. Now, he's actually making a bit of a comeback financially because he's been pretty regular. He's been in some movies, and he's been a pretty regular on a couple talk shows and things like that. So he's slowly coming back. I actually met Mike Tyson back in 1986. And I have a picture of Mike Tyson punching me in the face. It was staged, of course, but yeah, I met him in when there was a big celebration when they redid the Statue of Liberty. They did a big refurbishing of the Statue of Liberty, and then there was a big show on ABC that I happened to be on with Mike Tyson. It was about 5 months before he became champion of the world, and they were talking about he was just on this sports feature talking about how he was this up-and-coming boxer and he's going to be the champion. And so I took a picture with him just because I'm like, hey, in fact, I got to eat lunch with him too one day. But anyway, and then 5 months later, this dude is champion of the world. He knocks out, I can't even remember who he knocked out to win the championship, but poof, Mike Tyson was it. So that was kind of fun. Anyway, who else? Oh yeah, TLC, T-Boz and Chili. Now I think they might be making a comeback, but I remember the famous saying when T-Boz says to the camera, how can you sell 10 million albums and still be broke? Ask TLC. The members of the group famously found themselves low on cash even after the massive success of their 1994 album, Crazy Sexy Cool. That was a great album, by the way. In a 2007 documentary about her life, group member Lisa Left Eye Lopez explains that each member of the group earned just $300,000 from the album due to taxes, fees paid to the recording studio, and record company cuts from profits. While TLC eventually sold more than 65 million albums worldwide, that didn't necessarily translate into riches for the group. Despite being part of the best-selling American girl group of all time, T-Boz Watkins filed for bankruptcy for a second time in 2011 with over $1 million in debt, and now has a net worth of just $500,000. Rosanda Chili Thomas is doing much better than her former bandmate, starring in VH1's What Chili Wants. And I can guarantee you probably no one in my chat's ever seen that show. And holding on to a net worth of $10 million. So Chili's doing good. T-Boz is still having issues. And unfortunately, Lisa Left Eye Lopez is no longer with us. She passed away a few years ago. All right. Oh, Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf. Broke due to erratic behavior. With fans regularly Googling what happened to Shia LaBeouf. What's his famous phrase? What's his phrase from that camera he set up? What the hell? He just went crazy. Hey, what's up, Brian Mullins? Good morning, my brother. What was Shia LaBeouf, he said he was gonna no, not just do it. From the camera that he set up that everyone kept trolling his camera. And he said he will not divide. Yeah, he said he was going to run that for the entire Trump presidency, and then like people were trolling it, so he moved the camera, and then 4chan would find it wherever he would move the camera. That was hilarious. Anyway, with fans regularly Googling what happened to Shia LaBeouf, it is clear the actor took more than one wrong turn over the course of his career. He's only 32. Shia LaBeouf started out as Hollywood's next big thing, transitioning from Disney Channel child actor to blockbuster heavyweight with his roles in Disturbia and the Transformers franchises and Indiana Jones: The Kingdom of Crystal Skull. However, his increasingly erratic behavior starting in 2012 led many to believe he was heading for a breakdown. Heading for a breakdown? He full-on had one in front of all of us. From walking the red carpet to wearing wearing a paper bag over his head to organizing intense live art exhibits, LaBeouf isn't living the typical Hollywood life. Compared to some on our list, this hasn't impacted his finances too much. He still has a reported net worth of $25 million. What the hell? Why is he on this list? He still has a reported net worth of $25 million. But his public bad-mouthing of Hollywood and reputation for oddity have certainly kept his fortune from growing at a pace it was in previous years. For instance, his war drama, Man Down, sold only one ticket during its opening weekend in the UK. Do you remember that? Oh my gosh, that was terrible. He's in some movie, and literally one person bought one ticket. One person. All the entire rollout on that film. That's awful, man. That's awful. Oh, who else we got on this list? Oh, that's Oh, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's broke. With more than 30 years worth of acting credits under his belt, it's tough to imagine a bigger star than Johnny Depp. Depp cultivated an artsy image with iconic films such as Edward Scissorhands and Once Eating Gilbert Grape in the early 90s, but he truly hit a big with his role as swaggering Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of Caribbean franchise. Johnny Depp commanded an impressive salary of $20 million per film, but the box office earnings from his movies haven't always stacked up to his star power. Forbes named Depp the most overpaid actor in Hollywood 2 years in a row, 2015-2016. Perhaps it's no surprise then that Depp has recently run into financial problems. Rolling Stone and Variety have recently reported that the actor has spent himself nearly to the point of financial ruin. How do you spend $20 million? Oh my gosh, how do you spend that much money? Oh, I suppose you can if you have it. You can always spend it. That's why a lot of lottery winners are broke too. Anyway, perhaps it's no surprise then that Depp has recently run into financial problems. Okay, I already said that. How? By putting up $3 million to shoot journalists. What? Oh, by putting up $3 million to shoot journalist Hunter S. Thompson's ashes from a cannon, apparently, and spending $30,000 on wine each month, among other lavish pursuits. And he's also settled a $25 million lawsuit that claims his ex-management group mismanages money. Depp is also being accused by his location manager on the set of City of Lies of allegedly punching him on the set. So he's okay. Johnny Depp's kind of weird too. Michael Jackson, overspending in legal debt. Yeah, I don't know that he wasn't broke because his estate still has a lot of money. His post-human, he still had $500 million. Come on. He had a net worth of $500 million when he died. Get the hell out of here, Michael Jackson. Okay, that's it for those. Anyway, all right, you know what? Hey, it's time for Twitter trends. Oh, but I got to get this article. Well, New York man charged with keeping live sharks in a pool inside his home. Oh man, Poughkeepsie, I don't even know how to Poughkeepsie, New York. A New York man is accused of keeping live sharks in an above-ground pool inside of his home, for the purpose of selling them. Joshua Seguin, 38, of LaGrangeville, was charged Tuesday with illegal commercialization of fish, shellfish, crustaceans, and wildlife, according to New York Attorney General Letitia James. He's accused of illegally possessing 7 sandbar sharks, a protected species under New York law with the intent to sell them. The arrest stems from a July 2017 investigation after Seguin was allegedly found in possession of 5 dead sharks in the back of his truck, according to a release. DEC law enforcement and marine biologists searched Seguin's home and found the dead sandbar sharks, as well as 2 dead leopard sharks, 1 dead hammerhead shark, and the snout of a small-toothed sawfish, which is an endangered species according to the Attorney General's office. Further investigation revealed he was selling sharks on a website called monsterfishkeepers.com. Wow, the cost to illegally acquire sandbar sharks is about $11,500 according to the lease. So this guy had an above-ground pool inside his house, and he was keeping sharks in it so he could sell them. Wow, that's really weird. Okay, now let's get into Twitter trends while we have time. I'm going to pop over here to Twitter and let's see what's going on the trending list. And number 1 right now, let me refresh this because make sure it hasn't changed. It was Ichiro, and Ichiro is still trending number 1. Ichiro Suzuki, who is, I think he played for the Mariners. Yeah, he did play for the Mariners. Has retired from baseball. The 45-year-old Japanese outfielder played his final Major League Baseball game in Tokyo on Thursday when the Mariners took on the A's. So that was, we talked about that the other day. The Mariners and the A's played in Tokyo on opening day. Ichiro Suzuki, who has been in the league for quite a while. He was in the Japanese league for 10 or 12 years, and then he came over to Major League Baseball in the States and he's a great baseball player, but I didn't realize he was 45 years old. Wow. After 19 years of Major League Baseball, 9 seasons in Japan, there you go. Ichiro Suzuki is retiring. So there you go. He's retiring from baseball. Number 2, World Poetry Day. Oh boy. Here, I'm only going to read the top 1. Artist Angie, Sensei of Sarcasm, did a haiku. A poem with cows, skateboarding, no ties, guitars. Now I will eat dirt. That's deep. How about that? That's a nice poem, right? That's pretty good. By the way, let me interrupt our Twitter trends for a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the Morning Night Live is brought to you today by you, the viewer. Right down here, whoops, wrong side. Right down here is a share arrow. Hit that share arrow and make sure you're sharing the stream with those you love. Also, if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe and ring the bell so to make sure that you get notices for the Daily Night. The Daily Night Live. What's this show called? The Daily Night Live? For the Daily Night Live. Also, if you'd like to do super chats or just make donations to the show, there is a link down in the description below leading you to our Streamlabs. What is that called? Just a link to Streamlabs where you can make donations or get your super chat read. Whenever I hear that little sound, whatever that sound is, it's not the bell. This is the bell. Where's the bell? Where's my bell? Here, my bell. Where the hell did my bell go? God dang it! Here, there's my bell. Here's my other bell. Ding. Anyway, all right. So back to Twitter trends. Right here. All right. Enough of the World Poetry Day. You know what? There's all kinds of stuff here for World Poetry Day, but I'm going to skip it. I'm going to skip it because we got to get to. I only got 15 minutes left. I still got to tell you about that YouTuber. I really love this channel, and I highly recommend it. And we're going to watch one of her videos. So there we go. Dawg Knight. There you go. Let's see. Number 3 is Florida Man. You know, very often. Wait, sip of reparations coffee real quick. Florida Man. Which Florida Man story are you? A new zodiac sign is the headline that comes up when you do a search for Florida Man and your birth date. Interesting. Everybody Google Florida Man followed by your birthday. Florida Man, August 22. Tell me what you get. Mine is Florida Man tries to attack a man with a neighbor. So here's one right here. My birthday wasn't as exciting as this dude's day. Florida man fashes buttock at IHOP after impersonating a police officer to get free food. And other highlights or other thoughts on Florida as home. Okay, there you go. He flashes buttock. Florida man found bright green iguana in his toilet, called 9/11. Okay, Florida man allegedly threatened family with Coldplay lyrics and standoff after SWAT promises him pizza. Oh gosh, should I just Google one? Well, Google one and I'll do mine. How's that sound? I don't use Google. Where's here? Google. I use DuckDuckGo, but let's go to Google. Google.com. Let's see, Florida man and April. Oops, got to put an L in that. April 4. Let's see what happens. Let's see my Florida. Did you mean Florida man April 4? Yes, I did. All right, here we go. We're going to read the story. Florida man, 71, accused of repeatedly exposing himself at eateries, placed on house arrest. A 71-year-old Florida man repeatedly accused of exposing himself at restaurants and bars has been placed on house arrest after he broke his curfew just days after appearing in court due to the latest lewd allegations. Alvaro Peña Yepes has been arrested at least 12 times since 2012, predominantly for lewd acts in public. He was arrested again earlier this month for additional lewd allegations while on bond for a previous incident in which Peña Yepes was allegedly caught exposing himself and masturbating at Duffy's Sports Bar in Altamonte Springs. Who masturbates in a sports bar? Good Lord. On April 3rd, judge ordered Peña Yepes to wear an alcohol monitor and observe an 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. But probation officers said he visited at least 7 eateries after 8 p.m. between April 4th and April 8th, WFTV reported. Like Rookie's Cantina. He visited Rookie's Cantina in Longwood and Flogger's Grill in Altamonte Springs on April 4th. 2 days later, he was arrested at Renaissance Plaza Shopping Center and Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza in Altamonte. On April 7th, he went to a Pizza Hut in Altamonte, followed by a Tibby's New Orleans Kitchen the next day. On at least one occasion, Peña Yepes was allegedly already drunk when he arrived and made lewd remarks toward a female bartender. One night, he was reportedly also hospitalized for alcohol poisoning. The curfew has since been extended to full house arrest. Well, this man is definitely a menace, and he's definitely a Florida man. I might have to do a Florida man story every day, just use random dates. In fact, I could use the date that we are on. So we'll start that. We'll do that. Start that tomorrow. I love Florida man stories. That's pretty funny though. That's the so that's called the Florida Man Challenge. Which Florida man story are you? All you do is put in a Google search box, Florida man, and your date of birth or your birth date. Number 4 trending. Thursday thoughts. Okay, it's not Thursday thoughts. It's Thursday thoughts. If you're from the East Coast, you would say thoughts. Thoughts. Thursday thoughts. Let's see what the top Thursday thought is. It's official. As of today, I'm closer to 100 years old than I am to 0. Please forego the traditional slaughter of the oxen in tribute. That's Jonah Goldberg. He's what's his name? He's a journalist. He used to be part of National Review Online. He's on some other whatever now, whatever that place they made up. So, okay, so Jonah Goldberg is 50 today. Yeah, I passed that closer to 100 a couple years ago, so I'm already closer to 100 than I am to 0, so I don't want to talk about that anymore. Oh, by the way, did I mention it was Irate Bear's birthday? And Irate Bear will be on the show tomorrow. Just a reminder. Just a reminder. Terideos, hey, what's up? How are you, girl? Good to have you here. All right. Let's see if we can find a good Thursday thought that has nothing to do with an actual person, but just maybe just something that makes you happy, like absolutely incredible kid day. There's no denying that 5-year-old Donnie Osmond and his 4-year-old brother Jimmy Osmond were pretty incredible kids. Enjoy the cuteness overload video, everyone. It's the only 30th day motivation you need. If you're familiar with Donnie Osmond, and of the Osmond brothers. You know what? Actually, Donnie and Marie, they had a hit show in the 70s, a variety show. Donnie and Marie still play Las Vegas to this day, and it's one of the bigger shows in Vegas. It's at the Flamingo. It's been running for almost 20 years now, and I hear it's a really good show. We might go check it out the next time I'm in Vegas. But here's the 5-year-old Donnie Osmond. Let's just check it out.
You've got a jacket just like your brother's, huh? You want to sing a song for us?
It's not very loud. Here, hang on. I gotta turn this. At 5 years old.
Tell me, babe, what's new? How's this thing with you?
And this is Donnie Osmond's brother Jimmy, back from whenever.
Yeah, I need you so. How you'll never know. Gee, it's good to see you, babe. You walked in.
All right, so that's cute, but we got to move on. I got to keep going. Thursday thoughts. There's a cute Thursday thought. Number 5 trending World Down Syndrome Day. World Down Syndrome Day. How can a mismatched pair of socks raise awareness? Okay, so you're supposed to wear a mismatched pair of socks for World Down Syndrome Day, which is the day established by the United Nations in 2012 to raise awareness and promote the rights of those with Down syndrome, also known as trisomy 21. It's a genetic disorder that arises from a defect involving chromosome 21, usually an extra copy. In fact, it's the role of chromosome 21 that led to the selection of March 21st as the observance day for Down syndrome. So, yeah, so that's a pretty good field. Wear some mismatched socks today if you remember, or if you haven't gotten dressed yet, or go change your socks. Go change your socks. Go change your socks. All right, moving on. Next trend on there it is Abrams. Oh, what's Stacey Abrams up to? The fact that Stacey Abrams can go around saying she won her election and still be embraced as a visible Democratic figure tells you all you need to know about the post-Trump era. She is, so here's the story. Close advisors to former Vice President Joe Biden are debating the idea of packaging his presidential campaign announcement with a pledge to choose Stacey Abrams as his vice president. You know, between Stacey Abrams, Beto O'Rourke, did I say Beto? Yeah, Beto. I was trying not to say Beta O'Rourke. That's kind of a little joke going around the internets, but I'm just going to try to call him Beto. Robert, whatever his middle name, Robert Francis O'Rourke, a.k.a. Beto. Why are the losers of all these elections becoming so high profile? Now, she still insists that she won. It's pretty annoying. And so Biden's debating the idea of packaging his presidential campaign announcement with the pledge to Stacey Abrams as his vice president, because you know what? Let's pander to black people, brother Biden. You know what? That don't impress me. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not. Oh my God. Joe Biden. Uncle Child Sniffer. Anyway, so is Stacey Abrams going to announce her resignation from the governorship she claims to have won if she gets elected vice president? That would be funny. Oh, gosh. Also, while Abrams has obvious appeal in a primary, imagine the 78-year-old candidate placing someone a heartbeat away from power who's never served above state representative level. It'll be sub-Quayle Palin in terms of experience. Yeah, so, okay. So that's some pandering right there. Just like when Madam Hot Sauce went on the Breakfast Club, and, you know, same with Kamala Harris. Next thing you know, Joe Biden will be on the Breakfast Club. talking about that, you know, he's going to have a strong black woman as a vice presidential candidate. Yippee. Thursday motivation, we're going to skip that. Cliff, Erica Mina. What is this about? More details I get from that Cliff Dixon situation, the more I'm certain that someone put out a hit on him. Ooh, that's not good. Atlanta cats are the sleaziest. Wow. Who is Cliff Dixon? Erica Mina's boyfriend, shot and killed during 32nd birthday celebration. Wow, that's... I don't even know who this is, but that just... Someone dying at 32... Cliff Dixon was fatally shot outside of a nightclub where he was celebrating his 32nd birthday with close friends. A man later identified as Cliff Dixon, who was shot and killed oh, I see. A man later identified as Cliff Dixon was shot and killed outside. What? That didn't send. Man, y'all need some editors. Outside of a nightclub in Atlanta on the night of his 32nd birthday celebration. His name is recognizable for one of many reasons. That's debatable. For starters, Dixon is an ex-boyfriend of reality star Erica Mina, who I've never heard of. Secondly, Dixon is known for his close relationship with several high-profile athletes, including Kevin Durant. According to Fox 5 in Atlanta, he was shot around 1 a.m. within the borders of the Chamblee Strip Mall. By the time paramedics arrived on the scene, Dixon was already in critical condition, so they rushed him to Grady Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead moments later. So he's trending. I don't know him, but apparently he's famous enough that he's trending on Twitter. What happened here? Oh, MC, how you doing? I didn't see you. Joys of Sorrow, welcome. I didn't see you come in either. I'm kind of trying to get through this so I can... I got to close this down pretty soon, but we're getting through Twitter trends as fast as we can. So anyway, but man, anyone, you die because you get shot outside a nightclub at age 32. That's just too young to die, man. Someone had some serious beef with you or something. This world sometimes can be very sad. Cooperstown. What's happening at Cooperstown? Oh, because, Cooperstown's trending because of Ichiro, and he probably will end up in the... he will be the first Japanese elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's why Cooperstown is trending. If you weren't here earlier, Ichiro Suzuki from the Seattle Mariners, been in the Major League Baseball for 19 years, was a fantastic hitter, great fielder. Boy, if you watch some Ichiro highlights, dude was an exciting player. Vinny Curry. Okay, free agent deal, so Vinny Curry's might get signed for the Eagles. Michael Temer. Brazil's former president, Michael Temer, arrested in corruption probe. Arrested as a part of an ongoing anti-corruption investigation, local media report. The arrest comes just months after he lost immunity from prosecution. Wow, that's wild. I don't know. It's weird. I know Democrats love that story because it gives them hope. But anyway, let's see if I can get anything that's... Here, here's a short thread on it. State Attorney Office confirms the arrest of Michael Temer, detained at his home in Sao Paulo this morning. He'll fly to Rio to respond to the charges. As yet, the charges are unclear. He has several investigations against him. Despite charges against him from the past couple of years, he's escaped arrest because of parliamentary immunity while he was president, a privilege he no longer enjoys. Yep, I'm sure that'll be trending because it's American Democrats' wet dream right now. So there you go. Let's get to the next one. What else is trending? What's something that we're actually going to be talking about? Deer Park, Texas is under a shelter-in-place order over air quality conditions. That's a town in Texas. Bach is trending because the Google Doodle today is... Oh, first AI-powered doodle lets you make music like Bach. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. I don't use Google, so I didn't even know that that was the Google Doodle today. Must be John Sebastian Bach's birthday. What is it? Okay, well, whatever. So if you've used Google, check out the Google Doodle today. That's trending. Wofford is trending. Why? Because Wofford men's basketball teams lower than 5 seeds, I think, will make the run. Buffalo and Wofford. Wofford's a school in, I think, South Carolina. In fact, my one of my son's friends played for Wofford. I just thought of that. Anyway, okay, so y'all don't care about that. What else? Louisville, PJ Washington. Jimmy Carter's trending. Oh, well, there you go. Jimmy Carter becomes longest living president in U.S. history. Former President Jimmy Carter became America's longest living president ever on Thursday, surpassing former President George H.W. Bush. As of March 21st, Carter is 94 years old. Oh, happy birthday to Jimmy Carter. Now, I'm not a fan of Carter. At least I wasn't when he was president, because I was pretty young and barely remember it, other than that things weren't going too well in the country at the time. But I respect Jimmy Carter, his work with Homes for Humanity. I mean, that dude is still out there pounding nails. He and his, well, I don't know if Rosalind's still alive even. But anyway, I think she is. But anyway, as of March 21st, Carter is 94 years old. 94 years and, oh, I see. It's not his birthday, so never mind. As of March 21st, Carter is 94 years and 172 days old. A day older than Bush was when he died last November. Bush himself became the longest living president in U.S. history in 2017. Just a few former presidents have lived past the 90-year mark, including former President Ronald Reagan, Carter's successor, who lived to be 93. The Carter Center, the former president's human rights and anti-poverty organization, told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in a statement that the center staff was rooting for the former president, who remains an active volunteer along with his wife, Rosalind Carter. Okay, so she is still alive. We at the Carter Center are sure rooting for him and are grateful for his long life of service that has benefited millions of the world's poorest people, the center told the Journal-Constitution. So that's pretty cool. Jimmy Carter's, you know what, again, I don't agree with him politically, but he is definitely a good man. And the fact that he's still out there swinging hammers and pushing up, hanging out with drywall and whatever. How did Carter do during his presidency? The question is, I think he was not so well. Let's just put it mildly. But like I said, he's as far as I respect his work, especially with the Habitat for Humanity stuff that he does. So anyway, let's go on. Anything else that people will be talking? Well, I think people will be talking about Jimmy Carter today. Michael Steinhardt, leading Jewish philanthropist, is accused. Oh boy. Don't know him, but someone's being accused of sexual misconduct. Several women said Mr. Steiner made sexual requests of them while they were relying or seeking his support. He denies it, so I don't know. I don't know him, so people aren't going to be talking about him today. Fernando Rodney, don't know who that is. Is he a baseball player? Okay. Oh, just showing his version of a changeup. He messes people up. He's pitching for the A's. I don't think he's going to be. Griffey. Why is Griffey trending? Ken Griffey Jr.'s real name is George Kenneth Griffey Jr., as you all know. His son, Trey Griffey, is named George Kenneth Griffey III. I never realized Trey was just a nickname for being the number Trey until today. Okay. Oh, I see. Ken Griffey greeted Ichiro. He came to the game for Ichiro's last game. Okay, well, that's great. And he's also a Seattle Mariner great. Gina Davis, the actress. Don't know why she's trending. Sharing that she and her peers used to know you could never complain about harassment, inequality, or you wouldn't get work. So many can relate to this feeling. So Gina Davis points out that women make up 50% of the population, but are woefully underrepresented in TV and movies, particularly in programs for children. Let's fix that. Okay, she's a big Me Too person, big Time's Up person. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I also got to think that there are plenty of. This just gives me a headache. There's plenty of women represented in TVs and movies, and the honest truth is, for the most part, men tend to like to watch men in TVs and movies. Unless it's a really great role, because there's plenty of female leads in movies that men love to watch. But also women tend to like watching men in movies. I don't know why. Women think that women hate women, or men that think that men hate women. Men don't hate women, but women sure hate women. You ever see how women treat each other? I just, whatever. Gina Davis, yeah, she was somewhat of an action star in the 90s. I mean, I like her movie. She was also in some dumb. She was in Earth Girls Are Easy. That was a pretty dumb movie. But she was also in Thelma and Louise, which I really liked. She was also, what was the one where she was in a movie with Samuel Jackson, and she had amnesia, but she was some sort of agent. Does anyone remember that movie? If you remember the name of that movie, something like The Long Kiss Goodbye or something like that. A lot of people didn't like that movie. I loved that movie. I thought that was just a great movie. Funny concept. It was just hilarious. Here, let's see, MC. By the way, MC, I don't know if you've been here before, but I'm glad you're here now. Let me explain my disdain for Carter. I'm just reading your Carter was shown getting out of Air Force One with a suitcase like a normal person. The suitcase was completely empty. Yeah, Carter sometimes was show. Am I offline? Are you all here still? I just noticed that, there. No, I'm still there. Okay. The Long Kiss Goodnight. Yeah, I thought that. The movie got panned, I think, by critics, but I just really liked it. I thought it was a great movie. It was kind of a fun thing. Anyway, enough of Gina Davis. What else is trending? Let's get through a couple more, and then I got to get out of here. Oh, I got to get out of here now. Whoa! Nikki Haley's trending. Boeing jets. Yeah, those are from before. There's 40. They got a list of 40 today. I'm not going through 40. Hey, so before I go, there is one channel that I want you guys to check out. And, check out. I'm not going to play a video from it now, but it's one of the subscriptions that I just started watching. And let me see if I can find it here real quick. And I will get... all right, subscriptions. Where's my newest ones? Here we go. What is her name? Because I just think she's funny. And let me find it here. Blah, blah, blah. Her name is something. It's IRL something. IRL Rosie. Here we go. I'm going to put it up on the screen. All right, so this is the channel's called IRL Rosie. And when I looked at this channel about 3 days ago, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, she had 10,000 subs. As of today, right this moment, she now has 74,615 subs. I've been watching this go up about 5,000. Every time I look at it, there's about 5,000 more subs. And what she does is you get these scamming phone calls for you're supposed to get a free cruise, or someone's trying to say the IRS is calling and they want their money, and then they try to give you take a credit card number, or they try to get you to make a deposit. Well, these are hilarious. She talks to the scammers in character. I'll give you a little, here, listen to this.
You'll be dating Stephanie again.
Oh no, anyway, I watched this one earlier today. All those phone call scams that you get on, your phone rings and you got a number that you've never seen and it's out of town. You call and it's, you know, hey, you've won a free weekend for 3-day cruise, blah, blah, blah. Call this number. And then you call the number and they try to get you to make a $65 deposit or whatever. She calls them back or she takes the call and she keeps them on the phone for 30 minutes or so and tapes them all. And she's a great voice actress. She does some funny voices doing it. It's fantastic. Again, her channel's called it's IRL Rosie, ROSIE. Just go check it out. You don't have to necessarily subscribe, but go watch a couple of her videos. The one I watched was Scamming the Scammer in 5 voices. Then he thinks he's on MTV with Britney Spears. She does a great imitation of Britney Spears too. It's pretty funny. So that's my suggested channel for today. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be celebrating my 50th show. We're going to have guests in the dog park. Irate Bear, Sinatra Says, Ranting Monkey, maybe a couple other surprise guests. That's only if Monkey's awake and Sinatra remembers to pay attention to his Twitter, but whatever. Anyway, so that's going to be the show tomorrow. Hey, everybody, I am so glad you spent some time with me today. I just love doing this. It's a great fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you hanging out in the chat. Remember, just down here, you want to hit that share this out, and make sure if you're not subscribed that you subscribe and you hit the bell so that it has a little bell looking thing on it so that you get notifications for the show. Also, we're here every day at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, or 2 p.m. GMT for people in other parts of the world. I am so happy you were here today. My name is Dawg Knight, and I gotta go. I am out of here.